stuff. And even joking manners, it's just we kind of stay away from all that and just go to work.
Trevor, what's been Dabo's main message to you going into this season that really stuck with you going into camp?
There's been a few things that he wants me to work on that we've talked about specifics as far as the game, but also stepping into a new leadership role. I'm in a different spot than I was last year, and I feel like I'm doing that, learning how to lead a little bit more from a year of experience, and also watching great leaders like Christian and Cleveland and Dexter, all those guys that left. I feel like I'm kind of stepping into that more and more now.
How much of that leadership role can become stuff that you believe, stuff that you treasure, and then stuff that you've learned from others? I know you've had a relationship with Deshaun in the past, and he's one of the guys that people looked up to as a great leader in Clemson's past, and you mentioned those D-line guys. Where do you take the influence of others, and then where do you take your own personal beliefs?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's their own person. I believe that for sure, but it's never bad to learn from what other people did that's good. So I think learning from guys like that is really smart, and I got a year, like I said, to do that, just to learn from them. And I'm gonna use all those things that they taught me and that they showed me, and then also just being myself is the biggest thing.
You did something that only one other player's done, won a national championship as a freshman quarterback. So what motivated you to come out here for 5:30 a.m. mat drills and to come out here for 21 periods today? What now stokes your fire?
It's a lot of stuff, but I mean, you say like only freshmen to win a national championship, but it's not really me doing it. We got a whole team that's been working, and all those other guys are getting up at 5:30 and coming out in the morning, and I mean that'll get you going, of course, just having the whole team there, but also just wanting to get better. That's something I just always want to get better and improve in some way, and so yeah, I mean those are the main things.
What did you learn from the Manning camp, being around Peyton and Eli and Archie and all of your peers at the college level? What was that like for you?
It was cool to get to know a lot of those guys out there that are in different places, and just it's always cool seeing guys from different schools and kind of how their life is and what it's like at those schools, and we kind of get to talk about that. And then also just to be able to compete. It's fun to go in the summer and get to compete against guys you don't usually get to compete against, and that's always a good experience. And but then from the Mannings, they're an awesome family. A lot of good stories between Archie and Eli and Peyton and all them, but they have a lot of wisdom. 3 of them playing in the NFL, 1 still playing, so they have a ton of wisdom to impart on us, and they helped us out a lot. We kind of did some training sessions, so it was really cool.
Was that your first time meeting Peyton? I know you said you grew up.
Yeah, that was my first time meeting him. Yeah, it was cool.
Trevor, what's it like to have a wide receiver core like you got? Those guys walk off the bus, they scare about any defensive back coach in the nation. Have those guys to throw the ball to. What's it like to have 6'3" guys laying everywhere all across the formation?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, you don't feel like every throw has to be perfect, and you got to find the wide open guy every time. They kind of give you a little bit of leeway, which is, I still try to do my part as much as I can, but everyone's kind of covered up. You can take a matchup, and they're going to come down with it half the time, 3/4 of the time, as opposed to it being a 50-50 ball for most people. So they're really good.
Did you mention the national championship to Tua, or did you kind of let that go when you saw him?
No. We obviously our faith is something that we're like one way we're connected. So
Sure.
When I saw him, we talked about that a lot, and he's a great dude, and hopefully see him again in the future.
Do Nagata and Ladson seem more advanced walking onto campus maybe than even Ross did last year to you?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Nagata and Ladson, do they seem more advanced walking onto campus, maybe even more so than Justin Ross did last year?
It's just different. They came in the spring, so they've had a whole semester in spring practice to kind of get under their belt and learn the system and kind of get acclimated here. Justin came in the summer, and it was kind of amazing how quick he got used to everything here and learned the playbook, and that was really impressive. So it's just kind of different, but all 3 of those guys are great players and are going to help us out a lot this year.
Trevor, now that you won a national championship and you've had time to reflect, what do you know now about how hard it is to do that you maybe wouldn't have known with no experience in college football?
It's tough. It's a long road to get there. That's the one thing I learned, and also just staying focused. Every week's different. You got to attack every week, and it's like a lot of people have talked about the rankings and stuff, and Coach Sweeney says they don't give preseason trophies. So that's one thing we're focusing on, and just having to earn it every week. You got to earn it in camp, and then every week after that, you might win one game by 50 points, but the next week it resets. So I think it's just every week keeping that mentality and not looking ahead.
Along those same lines, what's the most valuable thing you learned about